Would you look at that? A glaringly orange fuel light. That is the story of my life, to be quite honest. That is on more times than it is off at the moment. I actually surprised myself as to how much mileage I do on this bike. So what else am I doing on payday but buying Noxie dinner? Hello, biker. Now, I was hoping to time this right so we would have a really pretty sunset ride. And I haven't. The sky's already dark. So that's great. I hope it's still not too bad. How empty is this? Okay, I can't see the fuel. Great. Oh. Alright, some girl maths for you. Or maybe just Ella maths if none of the other ladies in the comments agree with me. Paying for fuel using cash means that it's free because my bank balance has stayed the same. That's my thought process on it. Okay, so first things, I've ordered a new mic connection cable for the Purple Panda mic. So hopefully we'll go back to my sort of more balanced audio with bike engine in it soon. Now onto the topic of today. Obviously I've said this before, the whole point of this channel is to sort of show that you don't have to fit the stereotypical biker mold, because I'm clearly not that. 5'0". I struggle to obviously even touch the floor on a lot of bikes. And speaking to some of the bikers on some of the group rides recently, one thing that a lot of people don't realise, if you say you're short, they go, oh yeah, but you can lower the bike. I'm like, yeah, that's great. I can't reach the bars. And they're like, oh. So that's where a lot of us very vertically challenged people are at. You can find a dream bike and then realise, oh, I don't just have to lower it. I now have to... Sorry, I'm getting phone notifications as well because I accidentally turned my phone on to not silent and now I'm reaping the consequences. So I don't even know if that's going to appear in the audio. If it did, I apologise. Who is messaging me? Interrupting my... Where are you going? Patience, people. Patience. If I sound a bit funny, I probably do anyway because I'm recording through the Cardo again. Yesterday I sounded like a teenage boy because I had a really sore throat. And today I'm better but not fantastic, so that's just great for something that just requires me to record my voice. It's absolutely fantastic, but we're living with it, so it's fine. I blame the airplane I was on. That's a fun fact. I was out of the country earlier this week. That was very fun, and then it was miserable coming back to 12 degrees, which isn't even that cold in the UK, but it felt it after Lanzarote. And then I saw a bike hire place, and then I wanted to hire a bike. But we didn't hire a bike, but if I go back, I'm going to hire one. And that leads us back to the point of the video. Oh my god, full circle, well done me. Let's say I'm going to this hire shop, right? Things to consider about a bike for me. Not only the seat height, but also the bars. And I'm not the only group of people, or not in the only group of people that would struggle with this. You know, if you're really tall, you will struggle with this for the opposite reason. You might find lots of bikes quite cramped. In my group of people vertically challenged, it can be quite intimidating. Like, let's say you've decided, oh, I'm going to ride a bike, yay, and then I've got my CBT, yay, and then, oh, I've got my license, yay, I can ride whatever bike, maybe. What is going on? Whether it's like me with A2, so you've got a range of bikes, but, you know, not the full spectrum, or you're lucky enough to have a full license straight away. You can ride anything, and then you find one that you really like, and then you think everything's going to be great, and you're saving up for this, and then you go and see the bike in real life, and you realise, oh, this is not designed for me at all. Oh, hi, I forgot to say hi to you, I'm sorry. I was preoccupied watching the road because this is so atrocious for potholes, and I complain about it every single time, and I will never stop. Because guess what I didn't see in Lanzarote? A single pothole. I'm not even kidding. I did not see one. The roads were glorious. I was very, very jealous. but I did not understand the rules of the road, so I would not want to ride on them straight away. So what do you do when you find this hobby that you love and then you realise that it's really not set up for you? Well, you either quit or you improvise. I think you can tell which one I did. I ain't quitting. I'm stubborn. I wanted to ride bikes, so I rode bikes. That is that. No one was going to tell me otherwise. Sure, I had doubts. I'm not going to lie to you and say like it was all smooth sailing. I remember feeling really deflated when I actually realised how big some bikes were. And not even just, I'm not talking about like really tall adventure bikes or motocross bikes that are tall for a reason. I mean just in general bikes. I remember you might have seen my brother's Bandit in videos previously. It's a chunky bike, very very chunky bike. And when he first bought it, I sat on that bike and I thought, there's no way I would ever be able to ride that because I can't reach the bars. It's too wide. It's really tall. The pegs are weird. Everything was wrong. And I just resigned to the fact that I wouldn't be able to ride that bike. What did I do a few weeks ago? I got on it and I rode it around a car park. Obviously not some sort of grand tour around Europe, and it was not comfortable because it was not set up for me, but I got to a point where I'm confident enough in my own abilities now that I can get on a bike that is very clearly not for me and still try and figure it out. But that did not come overnight at all. Oh please, there we go, 29. I'm a law-abiding citizen. So ever so slowly, I'm gaining more confidence in the fact that I can ride bikes that are not designed for me. And just because I don't, what words am I looking for? Just because I don't sit on a bike and immediately feel incredibly comfortable on it like I do with this one. Like I sat on this bike, I was like, yes, this is mine. When can I pay? It's not going to be like that for everything. So what's changed? Well, apart from just obviously skill and experience, I've now got, I would say 14,000 miles of experience on this bike and a few hundred on other different bikes. I've got a lot of mileage under my belt for a year and a half, basically. No, almost, oh my god, it's almost up to 2 years. Obviously I got my license late 2023, but I've been on bike before then, and I'm 125. Oh my god, coming up to 2 years. That is crazy! But anyway, 14,000 miles in 2 years, let's say that. Or just, let's be generous, 20 months. There we go. Now the first few thousand miles, I would not have trusted myself. Where exactly am I going? I would not have trusted myself to test ride another bike. I would have been very wobbly, I would have been scared because, the chances are I wouldn't have been able to touch the floor and the bike would have felt really heavy because I wasn't used to it, and so I wouldn't be confident tossing it from foot to foot. And then things like, again, as I said, the handlebars being more difficult to reach on certain models. And then the levers, obviously I've got adjustable ones here, and I could use the old stock levers on Noxie, but some levers, like the Bandit, they're so far away from the bars. Again, I struggle to control them, and if I was a brand new rider, it would just be out of the question. I would not be safe on that bike, and I wouldn't trust myself to ride someone else's. And when it's like that, it can be really easy to be really disheartened straight away, but just know that it's a process. You're not going to get everything straight away. It's going to take time. And I'm sure you might get comments from people saying that you should stick to smaller bikes, and that, maybe cruisers are better for you, or just the small CC bikes. But you don't have to. If that's what you want to do, fine. But if it's not, equally fine. Hello. Right, we are back. I don't know why my phone stopped recording. We were talking about overcoming the intimidation of bigger bikes. Now, first thing I want to say is go to dealerships and sit on as many bikes as you can and get accustomed to the fact that not a lot of them are going to feel great. Because, in my opinion, it is better to break that delusion early than to... I'm not saying you need to change your dream bike, but I have sat on a wide variety of bikes now, including quite a few different years of ZX6s, and sometimes it helps as a bit of exposure therapy to know, right, that's what I need to get used to when I want a bigger bike. You know, if you want a 600cc Super Sport, it is not going to come in the frame of a Ninja 250R. That is what I've accepted, and then that allows me to not worry about the bike not fitting straight away, because now I can research what the best things are to adapt to that bike, because you don't always have to change exactly what bike you want to ride. How bright do you want your headlights, mate? I cannot see the road. I cannot see the road. I am blind. I also know that not all 600s are the same. So, for example, I sat on a Gixxer 600 not long ago, and James actually suggested it for me to sort of understand that not all 600s are the same in terms of seat height, because that one, yes, I was very, very, very tippy-toeing, but I was tippy-toeing, whereas on a R6, I ain't got no chance. I can't reach the floor. So not all bikes are built the same, and sometimes your idea of a dream bike might change depending on which ones you sit on, and then suddenly you might go for comfort rather than trying to change the bike to suit you, which is what I'll end up doing. I swear some people have their full beams on. I'm not lying. So exposure therapy helps. Also, if you're fortunate enough to be part of a group of biker friends or have a family of bikers, start getting used to sitting on those bikes if they will let you, and getting used to the weights of different bikes. What I wouldn't suggest doing is booking for a test ride at a dealership straight away, because I still haven't done that. Although I would feel more confident now, I would pick my bike choice carefully, and that's where I would go for frame size rather than what I would necessarily want to ride straight away. You know, there is a time and a place for adapting a bike, and a dealership's one obviously is not it. You've just got to go with those as stock. I don't know if I'm making an awful lot of sense in this video. I think more than words, and more than what I can say right now, it's useful to know that I've had this channel for quite a large period of my riding journey. And at the beginning, those first videos, I wouldn't have test ridden under the bike. I wouldn't even be comfortable lifting it off the kickstand, and now I am not like that. So it's less about listening to what I might have to say now, and it's more knowing that I've been on that sort of journey, and very nice, thank you very much. Green light, love it. And it's knowing that although it might not seem feasible right now, things change and your skills change. And there is a reason why I picked a little 250 for my A2 bike. Yes, there are more A2 bikes that are powerful and maybe I wouldn't be bored of so quickly, although I still love this bike. I am bored with the power, I'm not going to lie to you. This will be a long summer. But I'm not complaining about that. I get another summer making memories on bikes. That is the dream, no matter the size of the engine. But I picked this bike for a reason, and it was because I wanted 2 years under my belt on a bike that fit me before having to adapt the next one and spend more money on the next one. So I'm doing two options. Like, the first one that I picked for my A2 was find a bike that fits me without having to modify it. Yes, I changed the levers, but that was kind of for aesthetics as well, and for damage protection from falls, and it just had the bonus of being adjustable. Whereas the A license bike is not going to be bought or is not going to be chosen because of its frame size and how it feels. It's going to be chosen because that's the bike I want, and that's the bike I want to adapt to me. And either route is fine. You could choose route 2 straight away, or you could always stick with route 1 and live in more peace, that you don't need to change your bike an awful lot. I think that's all I have to say for now. Thank you very much for watching. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'm going to see you in the next video. See you later.